Being a car enthusiast is one of the most expensive hobbies out there. I mean, owning a car at all is pretty pricey, but if you've ever looked into modifying one, you'll realize that it can leave a huge dent in your bank account. So here's the best way to modify your car as a broke car enthusiast. It's pretty cold out here though. You think we can move this thing inside? Whew, that's way better. It was freezing out there. So we're gonna start with things that we can modify in a non-destructive way. What I mean by that is we're not gonna start drilling holes in our trunk for a huge wing or cutting open our fenders for a wide body kit. Instead, we're gonna start with wheels, tires, and suspension. This is the best place to start for a few different reasons. First of all of these things can easily be reverted back to stock if you decide to sell the car. And as you may have learned from our How to Buy a Car on Marketplace video, modifications very rarely add value to a vehicle, so you probably will want to remove them before you sell it. On top of that, wheels, tires, and suspension, if done properly, can have a big impact on not only the look of the car, but also the performance. But how do you get it right? Personally, I think the best place to start is the search gallery on fitmentindustries.com. Not sponsored or affiliated, but it's literally perfect. You'll start by putting in the exact year, make, and model, and then you'll see hundreds of photos of your exact car with all different kinds of wheel, tire, and suspension setups. The tricky part is already done. Owners of your car have already tested all different kinds of suspension setups with all different kinds of wheel setups, and now all you have to do is pick which one you like the best. Pay close attention to the wheel size and the fitment of the wheel on the car. At this point, we're not really trying to find the exact model of wheel that we want, we just need to know the size and the offset. Once you've figured out the ideal wheel specs, it's time to head to Facebook Marketplace. Obviously, you won't have the same kind of selection as if you're buying new, and it's possible that not everything is going to be in the best condition possible, but if you're patient, you can definitely find some deals because for the most part, these sellers are pretty desperate to get rid of these parts, especially if they've already sold the car that they were on. I'd recommend searching for wheels using the bolt pattern, width, diameter, and offset. If you just type in the model of the wheel that you want, there's a pretty low chance that you're going to find that in specs that fit your car or give you good fitment. So you're probably gonna have to compromise somewhere if you wanna save some money. Personally, I'd rather have good fitment with the proper wheel specs and kind of sacrifice the exact model of wheel I want. The alternative of having the model I want with poor fitment isn't really a great look, and yes, spacers are a thing, but don't go crazy with them. When it comes to cars, I find the process of hunting for parts on Marketplace to actually be one of the most fun aspects of it. If you just go out and buy the exact wheel and the specs that you want for, $2,000, $3,000, you'll have a sick setup, but there won't really be a cool story behind it. For example, these Enkei Ecam 3 wheels were completely destroyed when I found them. I got them for like 200 bucks on Marketplace. The paint was completely stripped off. They didn't look the best, but I thought it'd be worth giving them a second life. I took them to a local shop to get sandblasted and powder coated, and now I've got a set of wheels in a custom color that nobody else has. These aren't necessarily my dream wheels, but now that I've brought them back from the dead, I have a little story behind them, and I love them. Now that you've got some new wheels, you're also probably gonna need some new tires. Unfortunately, it's pretty tough to save money when it comes to tires. You should probably buy new and you probably shouldn't cheap out. This is your only point of contact with the road, so if you're gonna splurge on anything for your car, it should probably be the tires. Honestly, I have no advice here other than just praying for a sale. It is what it is. When it comes to suspension and lowering your car, you'll need quite a bit more luck to find a set of coilovers or lowering springs that fit the exact model of your car. In some cases, you might just have to buy new. If you're on a budget, lowering springs are the cheaper option, but if you go this route, I would also recommend replacing the struts. If you install lowering springs with the factory struts, you might actually make the handling of your car worse than it was before. Snoop around on forums that are specific to your car and see what other people have done. This will save you a lot of time, money, and headaches, not just with suspension, but with pretty much anything to do with your car. At this point, whether you've opted for lowering springs or coilovers, you'll want to get an alignment after everything is settled. Now your car looks great. It's low, it handles better than before, and you haven't done anything to hurt the reliability or the long-term value of your car. In my opinion, this is the sweet spot for modifications on a daily driven car. If the thought of more horsepower ever crosses your mind, just take a deep breath and appreciate the reliability and the handling of your car. I'm all for fast cars, but realistically, in a car that you drive to and from work, you probably don't need 600 horsepower. These tips are for modifying a daily driven car, and it's kind of nice to be able to handle a little bit better, you can really get into those corners, but I don't think you need 600 horsepower. If you've got multiple cars and buckets of money to spend on them, by all means, go all out, do a full build, do whatever you want to your car, airbags, wide body, I don't care, it doesn't matter. But if this car is just getting you from A to B and you need it every single day, I would recommend keeping it simple and reversible. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click subscribe so you don't miss our next video, and let me know down below in the comments what your first car mod was.